Hey everyone, this is Will from Leftman Productions, and welcome to our, I believe, 17th developers vlog for Odyssian Void. This one's just going to be really kind of a short developers vlog. Not going to go as long as some of the other ones, maybe just this one recording session. Mainly because I just don't have that much time to work on stuff that much anymore. Work's taking up a lot of time, and also some of my side stuff as well. But see what we'll get done for this one. I'm going to try to make an effort over the last 2 months of the year, November, December, to do a lot more work on this. Specifically the end of December, because I'm going to take some time off from work around then, and hopefully be able to do a bit more. So, I already started working on this last night. What I'm doing is I'm just taking all these different functions, and I decided that I want to put them all into one larger function. Technically, I probably shouldn't be doing it, but at the same time, it makes it a little bit easier to work with in the code instead of having to have, tens, maybe hundreds of these functions. You just have this one function you call, and you pass two parameters to it, and then it goes there and finds what you want. So, and you can also more easily group things together. Like, for example, you can group all the name getter stuff together, and so when you go to add a new stuff, I just come into here and say I want to add something that needs a name, and I want to be able to get it from the database. All I have to do is add it to this list. I don't have to go find the section that it's in and add it in and deal with that. It's just you look for the particular one you want and then add it in. So it's a little more organized. Although it's not quite a I listed it as a refactoring in the file header up here. But it's not really refactoring. Refactoring is when you are recoding something to make it simpler. This is not really making it simpler. I'm using my air quotes here. And the reason there's also no webcam video with it is because my webcam is not working again. I think I have to reinstall the driver. Yeah, so it's not really refactoring because I'm not making it simpler. I'm just reorganizing it so it's easier to work with. So, but I guess it could be a refactoring in a way, because I am removing some stuff I don't need anymore. So, in that way, I guess it is kind of like a refactoring. But all in all, it's still going to add just about as many lines of code as what's already here. Because in order to do this, you have to have 4 lines of code, including the brackets, curly braces. So you get the if statement, the opening brace, return statement, and the closing brace. And so that's still 4 lines of code, same as with the function calls down here. The only difference is that it's not a function call, it's just an if statement. And it's also wrapped around another set of 3 lines of code for the if statement, opening and closing braces. So it uses up a bit more space overall, probably, but at the same time it's going to be space neutral because there are things we're taking out that we don't need to use anymore. So it all works out that way. Now, there is something that we have to deal with while I'm doing this, and I just thought of it right now, and that is that I've allowed in the modding for the game I've allowed you to put in my headphones off. Getting some Logitech G933s, the new Artemis ones, wireless ones, and I'll be using those for recording once I get them. For a while to see how they work. But in the modding system, I've allowed you to add in new types of resources, but in here I haven't done that yet. So we have to figure out a way to add these the ability God excuse me, and then the ability to allow you to handle that. So to deal with new types of resources. And I'm not sure if that would be applied to the cost of it. I guess you could put them as add them in as a new type of cost to a ship or items or something. So we probably should go through and also add the thing into these things, which is where I was just thinking about what we're gonna do with it. So what we're gonna need to do though first is let's finish off the first group here. Some of these are gonna be interesting because, like this, for example, the engine, and we'll have to add some more in for the other components. But this is just going to return like an ID, and then we have to go through in the ship initialization and use the ID to pull in all the other data that we need for the engine values and things. So that's going to be interesting for that as well. So it's just whatever's still here we're going to go ahead and deal with, and then I'll put in the new stuff that we need to add in, and then we'll try and deal with the resource question there. So else if object, main object, in other words the main class of objects that we are looking at, which is the components or whatever you're searching against. So this engine high slots, medium slots. In this case it's going to be cargo space, and then if secondary object, which is the object you're looking for. So if it's a ship, it's a weapon, you put weapon. Of course, weapon won't have cargo space, but then return ships dot at 0 dot at 0 SSG2. And that's basically what I just have to do with that. So we just have to do that over and over again. Object. Sorry, that next is cargo. This should be. Let's just do this. This should be SG squared. If this object ship, return ships. That could work. Ships. What the heck? Hit Alt. Period. At 0.SSG2. Alright. I've also made this a template type class so that it can return any type of type. So it doesn't matter doesn't matter what type the data is that returning, it will return it. Had to do that because I had forgotten that this was going to return all different types of data. So this is kind of dangerous though, because if you return a type that is not being expected on the other end, like if you are expecting a string for the name and somehow an int gets passed instead, like you select maybe shield matrix or something which would return an int, that can cause a problem. But at the same time, that won't be able to happen even if there's an int in the name, because it's coming through the database code to get it, the database getting code. It's getting converted into an int or a string or whatever, so it'll be that type. This is more if I'm going through and I do something, put the wrong thing in the wrong place or use the wrong thing somewhere in the wrong place. Modding won't be able to cause anything to happen with this, just coding. Let's see. So if this object is ship, alright, so now we got a few things we have to add. So So I've got the armor, I've got the hull, I've got the shield matrix. A plating, hull structure, shield matrix. We have the low, medium, high slots. We have the engine. We need to do the RAM, the computer, power systems, weapons targeting system, the warp field generator, and I think there's one or two other things that I'm forgetting. So, as for how this would be used, let me show you. Let's go to, I think it's ship CPP. Actually, no, it's data system still. It's done the loading. Well, yeah, it can be used in multiple places. So there should be one here. Ship initialization. Destroyed. Ship area. So for example, now to get the ship name, this is going to be where this would be. It would essentially be this. So we'd say get data. That would pass through the first one we want to get, which is for its name. And the second parameter would be ship, because we're looking for the name of the ship. Essentially, that would be what all these would be. So get data, class, ship. String, template get data. And we're calling it as sname. String equals ds get data string. I think I see the issue here. Well, actually, it should be over here. Yeah, it's listed over here. So the fact that the string is not added should not be an issue. What's going on here? Let's see. Global variables. Okay. So, id proc. So those are all void. Maybe I have to use the T. Well, I'll continue doing this, and I'll look up what's up with that later on. There may be something I'm forgetting that I need to do for that. To use the type as a type diff as a type for return. I've actually never used a template as far as this game is concerned as an actual return type. It's all voids. Yeah, so it's just going to be similar to this. So again, get data. And now we want tech level, so T level. And it'll be this way for other things too. So if we want to get the tech level of a station, it'll be tech level station. Now again, like I was saying, this is opens up a lot more to typos, because instead of having a a function name that is gettable through IntelliSense, you put in the name of whatever you want for both of them, and that could lead to some typos. But it is a little more simple. You don't have to keep track of all these functions, and it's just a lot easier to deal with. So in this case here, these three things get taken out, because we'll take two out and the other one will get changed, because this is going to be S matrix now, I think. Yeah, IS matrix. So that's to install the... Okay, we're going to install a new shield matrix. So we need to have something to store an ID for the matrix. So instead of setting the shield's direct load, what's going to have to happen is that it's going to pass an int, and we're about to set it to a variable we can use later on in this function. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and make a new change amendment here, 2.3. What is today? 10.10. One thing I also want to do is I want to add in, let's see, I need to go to, let's see, open containing folder. Need to add these component classes and headers to the code folder so that I can add them in. Add from existing, and I'm going to say date modified. So A plating, CPU engine. Then I want to add the implementation files as well. That should help with this. Well, I'll need to add them. Actually, I should have already added them to the header file. I guess not. Let's go and unhook this. Uncomment those. Get the tabbing fixed here a bit. What I'm trying to do now is when I go through and make these, I'm trying to make everything on the same line so it all lines up, looks a little bit more neat. Instead of having things be like this where they're just kind of all over the place, have them line up with other things, like have all this stuff line up, have all these line up where they start, and it looks a little bit more organized and neat. Alright, so we have to add ship components. What we can do is this, include scomponents.h. And what this will be is just a file, header file we'll make. So fn def scomponents h define so include CPU.h, include RAM.h, include so CPU engine well, I might have to change that when we put it into the engine, game engine, because I may use the same thing for that. H structure. Oops. Actually, there's one more we need to do up here. Include A plating. Let's see, each structure. Power system, sure. See, so W targeting WF gen should come next, then include open targeting system, then end if. Now we can do is just include this file to include all of these. So we come over to ship now. I come down here. So secondary power, everything else is good. Secondary power system though, we call it something else. Apparently. SP system. SP system. It's not a type name. So SP system new, or say UPS, something. SP system. Oh, I see. It says it's already, okay, gotcha. That's why. That's interesting. I did not think of that. Alright, so we can't call it SP system, it's the name of the class, and that's conflicting, so, ship primary power system, we'll say. Alright, so that works. So now let's go ahead and put in here included scomponents.h for includes for ship components classes. Okay, if we come back over here now, it should be fine. I gotta find appropriate thing here. Actually, we can use this. Alright, so we got that. Now we need to put in the placeholder values for those. Let's see, storage. So don't need those. What we do need is ones for these now. So, so the systems themselves cannot be directly modified. They're only modifiable through skills, so we don't have to keep track of the values. Yeah. Alright, so, int, let's see, n CPU and o CPU. New and old CPU. That's just essentially how it goes, so I won't make this reference for everything. New A plating, old A plating, new hull structure, old hull structure, new shield matrix, old shield matrix, new warp generator, old warp generator. Oops. So there's engine. So CPU RAM, A plating, shield matrix power system, secondary power system, structure, weapon targeting system engine, and warp field generator. So that sounds about right. So now back over here, we can use those. So this is for shields. So new shield matrix. New armor plating. Let me get rid of those. So the place where we're going to save some code is going to be over here, because we'll be able to take some stuff out. As opposed to with the older system. So it's not really saving code in the data system, but in other places we are. And also simplifying. Now let me go check out this template issue, and then, cause that's kind of bugging me now, and we'll continue then after I figure that out. So I'll be right back. Alright, Stack Overflow to the rescue. One thing I forgot about that you have to do is you have to specify the type. So if this is going to be a string, you have to specify a string. I did leave it as a template, didn't I? Yeah. Let's see. So template type T. Interesting. Do I have to template the class too? Alright, I'll do some more research here and we'll restart then. It'll probably be a little while though. Alright, yeah, so that's what I do. I had to class it instead of type def. So I had to change it to template class T get data blah, and that allowed me to do it. So yeah, there. It's like this. So now, to do the same thing with these though. So, it's a little bit interesting, but at the same time it's still better off. T-level, what is T-level? String? Int, okay. So yeah, that's just how we're gonna have to do it. But yeah, it works like that now. So I was missing that one crucial bit of information, but looks like it'll work now. So new HS equals get data int hull ship. I think it's hull. Yeah, hull. So new engine get data int engine ship. Don't need that. So with this now, well, that's just setting a default value, so that's fine. This, however, needs to be changed to. So get data float cargo ship. ship ID as code. It's fine. We need to add in some other ones though. So, or no, yeah. These are those. New CPU equals dss.getData int CPU ship new RAM dss.getData int RAM ship new power system So how did I reference those? Power system, secondary power system? I didn't do either. Okay. Oh, that's right. I was going to, and then I decided to show you how that would work over in the other space. Gotcha. So let's go ahead and add those in now then. Else if m object equals CPU and RAM aren't even in here. Oh, they're there. CPU RAM. Yeah. So I guess we'll go with engine first. I don't think that's in there. If turn ships dot at 0 I think that's it. For some reason it's not showing up, but we'll check it anyway. Yeah, S engine. Where was this one? Player ship, though. So why am I using two different ones for? And obviously this is for saving data, but at the same time, can't we just leverage ship? Well, I guess, yeah, this doesn't have the same stuff. It's missing those extra bits. It's missing these, and it's missing the, that one's missing these, and this one is missing the bits for if it's stored somewhere, these ones. So I guess, yeah, they have to be separate. Question is now, does this cause an issue? Because there's 3 different places it's looking that has the same thing. So I think we have to say PS for playership on these. That's going to cause some havoc, but we'll have to fix that. That's necessary. Because I think this issue could cause some corruption somewhere. If the compiler or interpreter cannot figure out where to get the value from, it'll pick whichever one it wants to, and it could be incorrect. At the same time, I want to shorten these up. I'll do the same thing up here. For the same reason, because we're using the full names over in ship. Now, there's an issue though, because this is also being used over there in the same way, so we need to refer to these somehow differently than we are. It's not the best solution, but it is a solution. And it's enough of a solution that it's not going to get cross-identified. Now if I go back and we'll have to change this to ENG. If I go back and look at the definition for this now, should be just one location. Yeah. It's part of the issue when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, where you have multiple files that have the same, multiple headers that have the same definitions for the same things, but they're used differently, so you have to define them in a different way. Like these, for example, this is probably the same issue with these, to be honest. Yeah, there's like a whole crapload of places for these. So this is one thing I have to go through and figure out how to fix, because this is not going to work very well. I mean, it'll work, but at the same time, if there's ever a problem where somehow the memory management gets messed up and something gets written somewhere it's not supposed to be, it could quite easily cause a problem. So we need to go through and fix all this. That'll be something to do later. I'm not going to do it now because that would take too much time. And I'll specifically use the time for this to put in new stuff, so... Alright, else if object power system if object is ship, return just so we don't have to have secondary power system. That'd be a little bit too large. I think 2 words is about as much as you want to do for these kind of identifiers. You don't want to have like this huge, 50 word long thing, so that'd just be too much. So we still need CPU, RAM, engine, power system, capacitor / secondary power system, armor plating, shield matrix, hull structure. Still need the weapon targeting system, warp field generator. Still need those 2 for sure. So let's say targeting system. If Now, for running what I'm doing, if in here, well, let's say that, for example, let's say that some stations will have weapons to be able to use weapons. So we do an else if s object station. Then you'd say return station array struct for weapon and you do the same for planetary defenses. Planetary defense turn So that's how versatile this can be. If you want to add something in, like you add in something new that has a weapon targeting system, you just come in and add in a new else if statement. You don't have to go through and find the particular block of code in this entire file where you have all the functions for a particular data getting stuff. You just select in this one function, targeting system, then add it to that underneath that. There's still a little bit of lookup having to be done, but it's a lot more compact in terms of you're not making all these function calls. So it looks a little bit cleaner, and also it's more organized. So I believe that's everything. So engine, power system, CPU, RAM, secondary power system, workflow generator, shield, matrix, armor plating, hull structure, weapon targeting system. Yeah. So back over here, continue with this now. So new SPS. So now that we've got all that, what we do now down here is essentially set all that stuff up. So in these functions, classes rather, there are installation functions, like we have with weapon, the weapon class. So iEngine, install engine, you pass the ID to it, and then it goes through and pulls out that information. Now what we need to add to that is, see all this stuff here, we have to put that, throw that data into that function as well. stiff neck. So import engine.h. What's going on with that file? Cannot open source file. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, I said import, didn't I? That's why. I know that I put import. Too much Java on the brain, I guess. So at the time I was working on this, I'd just gone through and read a bunch of Java stuff. Damn, it's like that on everything. Alright, we got some work to do real quick here. Alright, much better. So, we have this here that we can use to pass through there. And we'll just use those over here when we're initializing. So, sEngine dot iEngine, then pass through neng. That essentially will set up the values for the ship's engine. We just do that for all of them. So scpu dot iCPU